And by the way, money, this is an interesting question. Why do you like talking about fraud? Are you self-conscious that all money is fraud? In a certain respect, it is. Money is a collective delusion. Why is it a piece of paper is worth anything? It has a dead president on it. Here you go, $20 bill. Here's your Andrew Jackson. Why is that worth anything? Because some other people told you that. And you believe that somebody's going to accept that. So when I pay you, you think you can take that note and go and buy something with it. That's why you accept it. I'll tell you a great story. When I first moved to Switzerland years ago with the Ethereum project, we had this consultant who worked with us. His name was Herbert Sturchy. And Herbert, standard Swiss guy, Mr. Fix-It. Everything's great. Everything's unbelievable. I'm here for you, blah, blah, blah. Super helpful. Then when it came time to pay him, we said, can we pay you with Bitcoin? And he said, I don't know about that. I need Swiss francs. Fine. And then we said, hey, can you give us a ride to Bitcoin Suisse? It was an exchange, very small at the time. Now it's quite large. It's Nicholas is a great guy. He runs Bitcoin Suisse quite well. And we go and we exchange some Bitcoin for Swiss francs. And it was a large amount. We got like 20 or 30,000 francs or something. I can't remember the exact amount. And we go through the whole process and everything, checks their passports and all this stuff. And Herbert's just watching this, where we just on our phone send these weird Bitcoin things he's never heard of before to this guy. We exchange it out. We have all these francs. Great. And then when Herbert's driving back, he says, you can pay me in Bitcoin now. It's okay. Why? Because he knows he can exchange it to something that he knows has value. So now Bitcoin has value because he saw that, he witnessed it, and his belief changed. And that's the nature of money. Look at the island of Yap with rice stones. That's another great example of it. The Chinese used to use tea as money, and they'd break it off. They actually had these little divots, and they break them into units. Okay, money is social consensus. The death camp Stalag used to use cigarettes as a currency source. An economist who was there wrote a paper about it while he was waiting to get out of the camp. So money doesn't exist. It's not real. But because we believe it's real, it is real. That's the bizarre nature of money. And human beings, when they can believe in abstractions, whether it be religions, money, corporations, political power, like Trump is the president. When he got elected the president, did we somehow change his DNA? Did somehow he wake up the next day and he got a third arm? Is he a cyborg now with like robotic powers and things like? No. We've just bestowed upon him a social consensus that somehow makes him powerful. He can now pardon people and pick up the phone and order a military to do something. But if you ever ask yourself, what if the social consensus falls apart? What if people just wake up and say, well, we just don't want this guy to be president anymore? Will they listen to him? Will they act on his orders? No, they don't really have to. It's the same for a corporation. I'm the CEO of IOG. And I call my employee up and say, you need to do this. And they say, yes. But what if they wake up and they said, yeah, I'm just not going to do it? Technically have the legal right, but that's an abstraction too. It's all abstractions. It's all fiction if you think about it. Power is a fiction. It's reciprocal. Money is a fiction. Religion is a fiction. And these are fictions of convenience that we believe, stories that we believe as a society to build and preserve society. It is in our best interest, emotionally, safety, physically, survival, to believe in fictions and hierarchies and power dynamics and magic people in the sky and so forth. And if your fiction is particularly powerful, you can run an empire. If your fiction is particularly powerful, you can compel people to do great things, like go to the moon, okay? Or to win a war or start a war, terrible things. So never forget that. Greatest author in the world to enumerate and elaborate this is Yuval Harari in his book Sapiens and Homo Deus, both those books. They really get to the root cause of all of it. So, you think about fraud and it's like, it's one of those things that it's a value situation. And in many cases, especially when you deal with money, why is one money good over another money? Why is the Zimbabwean dollar any better than the US dollar or worse than the US dollar? Well, because it's volatile. Why is it volatile? Well, because of belief in markets, ultimately. And why is Bitcoin valuable? Because markets made it valuable. But why did markets do that? Because people believe it. They believe that tomorrow all the miners are going to show up and continue mining. Why do the miners show up tomorrow and continue mining? They believe because the coins they make, they can sell. Is there any guarantee? Is there any law of physics like gravity to make that happen? No. All the exchanges tomorrow could just wake up and say, fuck it, we're going to shut them down. We're going to go fishing. All the infrastructure could be turned off. Technically, there's nothing in the way the world works to keep it on, but it stays on. And because it stays on, the miners know that when they wake up tomorrow, they can sell. So they leave the devices on overnight. And because they left the devices on overnight, the network appears to be successful and secure. So then people believe the price is justified. There's this beautiful reciprocity in all of that. And it just holds itself all together like some magnetic force, magical, invisible hand. It's an extraordinary thing. And it's what truly has made the human race so powerful, is our ability to fantasize and create narratives, abstractions, and then build collectively from those abstractions and yield collective power through abstractions.